to be honest, like it's hard being a husband. You know, like to be a husband, it's a lot of responsibility. It's it's like it's a being a husband is a job within itself. We're not talking about being a wife. We're not talking about this. We're not talking about that. You're talking about being a husband. Like even when you're not at home, you're thinking about how to make sure your home is okay. When before you go out to make things happen, you have to make sure everybody else is taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Before you thinking about yourself, you have to think about everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's being a family person. That's just being a father. But, you know, being a husband on top of being a father is like, okay, now it's very important to make sure that your woman's emotional needs are met, that her, you know, physical, not so much, you know, as far as sexual, but just her physical needs is met. You know, make sure that you're listening to the things that she says so that you can continue to help her along. You know what I mean? Because as as a husband and wife, like it takes a constant pushing and and pulling, you know, to be able to, you know, really make it to be successful. You know, you have to push me and sometimes you have to pull me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, hey, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I'm not trying to be on your back, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm noticing this certain things. I don't want you to fall. You know what I mean? And constantly pushing. Sometimes you're just going so hard, so hard, so hard. You just, you know, trying to make it happen. You trying to make sometimes she gotta pull you back. Be like, yo, hold up, hold up, hold up. You need some time for yourself. You know, and that's the thing about being a husband, father, just a man. Like, you know, when is really your time. You know what I mean? And and it's not like physical your time. Because you can always physically go somewhere and be by yourself. But it's the mental me time that is important for fathers, husbands, and just men to take on. You know, it's the mental part. Because if you get think about it, if mentally you get overwhelmed, even if as a man you don't even think you're getting overwhelmed, you don't even feel like you're getting overwhelmed until you actually overwhelmed. You know, then at that point, as a man, it's like, okay, that becomes survival mode. And even in the most luxurious situations, you could still be in survival mode if mentally you're overwhelmed. You know, because that's something that like money can't fix. You could have $1 trillion. If you become mentally overwhelmed, you can't throw money at that. That's you having to take me time, you know, and that's what's important for, you know, men to remember that they have to take their me time so that they can not get mentally overloaded because we'll start taking stuff off our plate. You know, we'll be like, yo, this gotta go. What's the biggest things that is causing me to do the most thinking? You feel what I'm saying? I need to get rid of that. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes you getting rid of the wrong thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you mentally overloaded. Your first thought is survival. Like I gotta get rid of the hardest thing. You know, and a lot of times that's why we can become distant from our spouse. You feel what I'm saying? Because it takes a lot of responsibility to be a father. I mean, not a father, a husband. You know what I'm saying? And a man to that woman. You know what I mean? And if I can not think for you for a second, not go here for you for a second, not do this for you for a second, not do that for you for a second, then I feel like I can just calm down and then keep going. You know, but that's not always the right choice. You feel what I'm saying? Because that your spouse is your support. You feel what I'm saying? But it's the thing that we think about the most, probably outside of our kids. And we're not going to throw our kids away. You feel what I'm saying? So we make the bad choice of distancing ourselves from our spouse. You know, but there be a lot of things like when you become in survival mode, like you're trying to get rid of stuff. Whatever's on your plate that you can hurry up and just dismiss. Because you have to, a real man, a strong man is always going to want to come back to himself and always going to want to build and get better and be greater. So, you know, I think, personally, like, it can be real hard to be a man if if your or a husband if your support system isn't looking out for you the way you need them to. you know so but I love the job. It's just hard. It just gets hard sometimes.